Hello everybody, here we are, project number 2, chorus with lyrics. So here we go. To enter chords into the score, you can use speedy entry, and you can enter, let's say you can enter the bottom note, and then you can actually double click if you're working without a keyboard. You can double click to add notes above. Or if you, like I showed in class, turn on the caps locks and don't do that, undo. You can also turn on the caps locks and make sure you use MIDI device for input. Then you select your rhythm and then you can enter on the keyboard. I'm going to uncheck that now because I don't have a MIDI device connected right now, so otherwise it'll get all goofed up. You can also use simple entry, and you can drag the bottom note of the chord to the bottom, and you can click above, or I showed in class as well, if you use the interval number above, such as 4, and then you want a third above that, you can enter using the numeric set on your keyboard. To enter chord symbols, you want this symbol that looks like C major 7. You just go down into the score and you click where you want to enter it. So if you want it here on this first beat, you can simply type the letter C, or over here, uppercase D, lowercase b will be B, D flat. So lowercase b if you want to put a flat symbol. Or if you go up here to chord, make sure allow MIDI input is checked. You can click over the note where you want to enter a chord, and you can play it on your keyboard as well. To enter lyrics, you want this icon that looks like a fountain pen, and go up here in the menu to lyrics and make sure lyrics window is open. That'll open up this dialog box here basically. And here you can check and make sure your lyrics are entered correctly as you go. So make sure in layer 1 and then click above where you want to start entering, and so forth. If you want to go to second verse, you go up to here in the lyrics window and type, click 2, and then it'll enter it underneath with the lyrics. Remember that if you want a hyphen in between, that for example, if I go back to layer 1 and I want to say hyphen way, it won't show the hyphen until I press space bar and go to the next word. So just keep that in mind. If you want to go to the next word, you type space. If you want it to be hyphenated, you push hyphen. And just keep in mind there's a delay when you enter the lyrics. To do the repeat signs is this tool that has a repeat. Looks like just like a repeat. Double click in the measure where you want to enter it. And here we're going to do a forward repeat, and it's already selected. So click select and it just enters the repeat. It's a pretty straightforward tool. Let's go down to where we have the endings. So this measure, we want a first ending. So we're going to click on ending, click select. It's already numbered 1, and we want it to create a backward repeat, so we'll click OK. Then double click in the next measure to open up the same box again. We'll click ending again. This time it already auto numbers, it knows we want second ending. We're going to uncheck create backward repeat. We don't want it to create another repeat, we want it to go on. So we'll click OK. And that's how you create the endings. Let's look at these Q notes in the end. We're going to enter these. I'm just going to use Speedy, and we're going to enter them in layer 3, which is kind of a special project, so we're going to use that layer. Start by entering, I'm going to enter a dotted half note, but I'm going to push R, make it a rest. And if you push H after you enter something, it hides it. So H is for hide. You can push H again and keep hiding it and unhiding it. You can do this for rests or notes in a score. So we only want that top note to show in that bar. And I'm just going to enter these Q notes as they have them. And then I'm going to go back with the arrow key and push letter L. L is the shortcut to change the stem direction. So I'm going to do that. There we have it. Now what I need is this layer to show by itself. So I'm going to go up to Document and click on Show Active Layer Only. Now we can isolate this layer all by itself. I'm going to select this layer, just the notes, because we don't necessarily need to do to the rest. And I'm going to go to Utilities, Change, Note Size. So Utilities, Change, you can do all kinds of stuff with this selection. We're going to change the size to 75%. That'll get them the shape of the Q note size that we want. Then to add these parentheses around them like they are in the score, I'm going to click on the articulation tool and click over the note. And you'll see there's actually a forward parenthesis and a back parenthesis. So enter the forward one, then enter the backward one. And this would be kind of tedious, especially if you had more than 6 notes like we have. So you can see there's a shortcut. Each of these articulations have a shortcut here in the corner. This is forward parentheses is 9, backward parentheses is 0. So let's try those shortcuts. If I hold down 9 and click, it'll add it. Then if I click hold 0 and click, it'll add it. So this is one way that you can add articulation. So 9 click, 0 click, 9 click, 0 click. I know, for example, that the staccato articulation is letter S. S is for staccato. If I hold S and click, then I get a staccato. So just to give you an example. But we want these parentheses, so 9 and 0. To create this little option that's in the score, it says optional. We're going to use the expression tool. Click, double click over the note. And I already made one earlier, so you won't see that, so we'll just delete that. Let's take the very last one and click duplicate. We're going to just use it as a template, and then click edit. And uncheck this box, use expressive text. We don't want it. We want to be able to do our own things with the text. So you see it opens up this editor. So let's type OPT, parentheses. I'm going to select this text and turn off the italics. That's how it looks in the score. Then we can click OK. And then we click Assign. And you see I can kind of drag these around actually to different places in the score, but it's attached to this layer. So actually hold up, go back. Don't drag it too far, it actually switched layers on me. Do you see how it changes size when I attach it to the point where I change the note size? So I think we wanted the small 75%. So see if you can keep it attached at that small level. Go back to Document and uncheck Show Active Layer Only so that all the layers are showing, and now we've got our optional part. For the finishing touches on your score, I'm going to get rid of these cues that are labeling the staffs, and we do that in Window, Score Manager, and go to Instrument List, and here's where we can change the names. So at the bottom, make sure you can see this, we can change the names of these parts. So we're going to get rid of vocals, click OK, and then I don't want it to say Vox, that's kind of weird marking, click OK. So take off the abbreviated name, and I think it's okay for the piano to say piano in the first line is fine, but after that the piano player doesn't need to know where the piano staff is. So for this one, take off that name as well. So that just kind of cleans up the score. The shortcut to zoom out is Command minus or Control minus if you're on PC. And to do the final score setup, I'm just going to zoom out so I can see this score. So I talk about in the directions to use, it's called the page layout. It's this thing that looks like paper. And you want to open up two different windows, one for system margins and one for page margins. So those are those two windows open here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set the page margins to 0.5 all the way around and 0.25 at the bottom for this one because I want it to try to fit on 2 pages. I'll click Apply. Good, it gives me a lot more space to work with now. It makes it easier to read for the musicians too. Now, a new thing for these directions in this assignment is what's called the percentage tool or resize tool. And we're going to set this to 90%. I do all of my scores for publication at 90. And this is a good one to do at 90 because once you change it to 90, really helps kind of squish everything together. Let's see if we can get this on. We just need this staff to come over here and get the other staff to go on page 1 to try to fit this on 2 pages. So this is where the real art of engraving happens. Let's go here to Edit Systems. So this is in the page layout, Edit Systems. And this is something you're gonna have to kind of mess with. Every score you do is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to affect System 1, which always has extra space at the top for the title. So let's try 0.75. It always has extra space in the beginning to allow for the name of the staff. So 0.5 on the left, and let's try 0.3 on the bottom. Click Apply. That should push up. Yay! So we got that System 5 to go on the first page. That's cool. And then now we need this system to push up to the next page. And I bet we could do that with this staff tool. So if we click on the staff tool, and we've got kind of, you can see some extra space in here. So I'm going to take the bass clef staff, you click right by the clef, and if you double click, it'll select the entire staff. And I'm ever so slightly going to move it up just a little bit. And yay, there we have it. So even that little tiny bit of space adjustment, now I have my music on 2 pages. And then you gotta kind of move this stuff, make this look a little bit better. So depending on how your measures were kind of laid out, you'll have to mess with the system margin, page margins, percentage, resize tool, and then you can use the staff tool to kind of adjust the spacing. All right, so thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing these assignments.